These games are ranked by PlayScore, a standard rating that averages gamer and critic reviews. Opening our list of the top 25 PlayStation 4 multiplayer games is XCOM 2. The sequel to Firax's award-winning strategy game takes you to even bigger risks. 22 years after humanity's demise against a foreign threat, the XCOM forces must rise and eliminate these alien settlers. Play online or locally with your friends because this game is lauded for its tactical turn-based guerrilla combat and ridiculous RNG. Its latest expansion, however, adds more chaos to the fray. It receives a play score of 8.70. Number 24 is Enter the Gungeon. Devolver Digital's unique bullet hell / dungeon crawler takes you to an adventure of epic proportions. Follow a group of misfits as they vindicate themselves with their personal struggles by finding the gun that can kill the past. Go on a procedurally generated quest with your friends filled with lightning-fast bullets that require your lightning-fast reflexes. It receives a play score of 8.71. Number 23 is BlazBlue Central Fiction. Serving as the final chapter of Ragna the Blood Edge's story after the events of Chrono Phantasma, this fourth major entry to the BlazBlue series continues to turn the wheel of fate. With a roster of 35 characters, watch them go all out with their hyperkinetic burst and mesmerizing color palettes. It has a play score of 8.72. Number 22 is Minecraft PlayStation 4 Edition. Probably the leading source of YouTube's ad revenue, this kid-friendly game makes its way to the PlayStation 4. Use the gift of imagination and creativity in Microsoft's multi-awarded sandbox adventure. Craft, explore, fight, and survive alone or with your friends. It has a play score of 8.73. Number 21 is Destiny 2. Face off against hordes or go for a player versus player experience in Bungie's sequel. It improves on the flaws of the original's lack of a decent campaign. Play with your friends and organize raids and nightfall strikes together with the improved clan system and receive rewards for each other's success. It's the hottest game of this year and it receives a play score of 8.74. Number 20 is Salt and Sanctuary. Cleverly crafted to challenge amateur players with its brutal difficulty, Salt and Sanctuary is among the many games that's inspired by Castlevania and Dark Souls. It oozes a dark and gritty atmosphere along with a merciless gameplay. Its multiplayer mode lets you grab a buddy in local co-op as you walk together in Salt and Sanctuary. It has a play score of 8.78. Number 19 is Battlefield 1. More than just a visual spectacle, DICE's latest big-budget title goes back to the glory days of the First World War. Packed with iconic weapons from the good old days, step outside the battlefield with your squad or alone in a blazing skirmish of epic proportions. Ride tanks, warplanes, zeppelins, and even play as a goddamn pigeon. It's Battlefield at its peak and it receives a play score of 8.79. Number 18 is Injustice 2. While Marvel and Capcom are busy fighting each other, DC's very own lineup takes their chaotic world by storm. This sequel to the popular fighting game from Warner Bros. Makes a step up to the right direction. With new characters, new gameplay modes, and a balanced set of heroes, it has a play score of 8.79. Number 17 is Rise of the Tomb Raider 20-Year Celebration. Celebrating their 20 years is their sequel to 2013's reboot, where Lara Croft continues to follow her father's footsteps. Multiplayer isn't their big focus, but nonetheless, this sequel lets you compare other players' scores in score attack or make your own rules on unique levels and remnant resistance. Find out who's the best Lara Croft player out there. It's always been a single-player experience, but it's nice of Crystal Dynamics to add a bit of online play. It receives a play score of 8.79. Number 16 is Titanfall 2. Don the greatest mechanical exoskeleton ever made and tag your friends in an electric multiplayer experience. Thank God for its single-player campaign, but the multiplayer is where it shines. With more titans to choose from, bask in the futuristic mayhem. Choose from among its various modes and dive into the battlefield. Grapple away from great distances, slide, wall run, throw a grenade, and call your mech from the skies. It just doesn't get any better than that. It has a play score of 8.80. Number 15 is Nex Machina. A twin-stick shooter in the modern age, this cable punk game is so focused on the idea of action, you can't even give your fingers a chance to take a break. Rampage around its robot-infested world and enjoy the shoot-'em-up with a friend. Its rich co-op mode promises hours and hours of relentless bullet hell action. It has a play score of 8.80. Number 14 is Doom. This reboot to the classic Doom franchise brings robust upgrades. It's still the same first-person action we all love, and it's still as gory as ever. Be the most badass demon killer in Mars and tag a friend along. Although its single-player campaign excels, its multiplayer still has a lot of adjustments left to do. But it's an enjoyable experience worthy of your time, and it has a play score of 8.85. Number 13 is Rocket League, the leading sports game that takes over the top silliness to one fun multiplayer experience. Its success transformed the game into a competitive sport with prize pools exceeding hundreds of thousands of dollars. For the beginners, the goal of the game is just so simple. Use your rocket-powered vehicle to control one giant ball, race across the pitch, and score a goal. It has a play score of 8.85. Number 12 is F1 2017. Codemasters' annual Formula 1 release comes with a host of new improvements. Dive into its deep career mode, and of course, invite yourself to the game's enhanced multiplayer. Enter the new championship mode and gawk at their classic F1 cars. It has a play score of 8.85. Number 11 is Skullgirls' second Encore. This 2D fighter marries creative and engaging art style with controls that are both friendly and competitively balanced. It's a kind of game that's easy on the eyes, easy to pick up, and even harder to master, making it a favorite for veterans looking for a tight duel and newcomers looking for some multiplayer fun. It has a play score of 8.86. Number 10 is Divinity Original Sin Enhanced Edition. Blending deep customization, interactive environments, and tactical turn-based combat, Divinity Original Sin creates a unique and immersive RPG experience for role-playing enthusiasts. Form strategies with a friend while you're defeating enemies, and experiment with ways to use the environment to your advantage. Throw lightning spells at water, and ignite oil barrels for an explosive finish. It has a play score of 8.87. Number 9 is Dragon Quest Builders. Multiplayer is a confusing aspect on most games, and Dragon Quest Builders is among the many games that provide a unique online experience with your friends. This Minecraft-like spin-off from the famed Dragon Quest series lets you create your own sandbox world to share with your friends. With its sequel looming over the horizon, let's hope for a real multiplayer experience this time. It has a play score of 8.91. Number 8 is Guilty Gear Xrd Revelator. Arc System Works' latest addition to the Guilty Gear franchise doesn't disappoint everyone with its beautiful cel-animated visuals and a combat that dazzles the eyes. With a total of 23 playable characters, ranging from the cool to the odd. Unleash your character's blazing moves in a gorgeous arena in smooth 1080 pixels and 60 frames per second. It has a play score of 8.91. Number 7 is Sonic Mania. Zipping back to his pixel-perfect form, help the dashing hedgehog stop another one of Dr. Robotnik's classic antics. It's the same side-scrolling platform with a few fresh additions such as the return of the competitive multiplayer where players can go toe-to-toe with each other. It has a play score of 8.98. Number 6 is Overwatch. There's no doubt about it. One of the most celebrated hero shooters of this generation is still continuously growing in population. With more than 35 million players, Blizzard's iconic shooter wins the heart of every gamer out there with its lovable cast of 25 heroes with unique personalities. Capture flags, be in need of healing, and push the payload. It has a play score of 9.04. Number 5 is Diablo 3 Ultimate Evil Edition. A refined Diablo 3 experience and the second Blizzard game on this list. It brought back everything that made the franchise a success, culminating years of improvements into one ultimate experience. With the inclusion of the Reapers of Souls expansion, pick from their array of classes and relive the excitement of loot collecting and skill developing once more. Enjoy 1080p resolutions and 60 frames per second as you slash through demonic beasts in deep and fiery dungeons. It has a play score of 9.12. Number 4 is Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain. Impressive single-player aside, Kojima's final MGS entry takes a bigger focus to its multiplayer mode. Build your own mother base and defend them from online enemies, or you could do the same by raiding them in FOV missions. Aside from that, go into its unique game modes that offer various online plays such as elimination and capturing intel. Put your stealth skills to the test and see how your MGS skills go on par with other players from around the world. It has a play score of 9.23. Number 3 is Journey. That game company's indie masterpiece is still owning our list. Aside from the fact that it offers an atmospheric journey with a mesmerizing soundtrack, it also shows a genuine online experience. Players can meet other players in the vast desert, but they cannot communicate. Use musical notes and help solve puzzles together. It's a stellar feat and it requires no stress, and it has a play score of 9.28. Number 2 is Grand Theft Auto 5. Of course, Rockstar's latest giant isn't giving up as well. We already know how huge the world is, especially its cast of characters. Shark cards aside, its online mode lets you play around its world with infinite possibilities. With a group of friends, cause mayhem and havoc around Los Santos, or do heists with friends. It's the ultimate GTA Online adventure and it has a play score of 9.31. And the best multiplayer game on the PS4 is Uncharted 4, A Thief's End. Okay, let's face it. It may not be the most multiplayer-centric entry on this list, but it does provide a fun experience to the fans of Naughty Dog's third-person combat. Customize your own character and use a wide range of abilities to dominate the playing field. Use your hook or the game's mystical items to gain an edge in battle. There's so much more in its multiplayer mode, and to this day, it still continues to wow players due to its consistent action, physics, and realistic features. It has a play score of 9.41. You may get these games right now by clicking the links below.